What's going on, Trojan fans? Welcome back to the Light the Torch podcast. I'm your host, Blackie Chan, and we've got a jam-packed episode for you today, recapping all the latest news and updates from USC's Fall Camp. If you missed anything this week, don't worry, we've got you covered. Let's dive right in. First off, let's talk about the biggest story of the week. Lincoln Riley challenging Bear Alexander. Now, for those who might not be familiar, Bear Alexander is one of the most physically gifted players on our defense. We've seen flashes of brilliance from him, moments where he looks like an unstoppable force, wrecking offensive lines, getting into the backfield, and making big-time plays. But here's the thing, it's not enough to just flash potential. Consistency is key, and that's where Bear needs to step up. Riley didn't pull any punches when discussing Bear's performance so far, saying,
"It's a very, very important camp for him. He's shown that he's got the ability to be an explosive player, but he's also, been a player that his inconsistencies have hurt us."
Now let's unpack this. For Lincoln Riley to call out Bear like this publicly, it shows just how much he believes in Bear's potential and how crucial he is to the success of our defense this season. This isn't just about criticism, it's about challenging Bear to be the player we all know he can be. Riley sees the ceiling for Bear, and he's pushing him to reach it. Personally, I think that's exactly what we need. We've seen far too many seasons where our defense has fallen short. It's often been because we didn't have enough players consistently making big plays. If Bear can find the consistency, he's going to be a nightmare for opposing offenses. But what do you think? Is Riley doing the right thing by calling out Bear like this? Let us know in the comments below. We want to hear from you. And now, let's switch gears for a moment and talk about our bum of the week, Mr. Paul Finebaum. Paul Finebaum. Look, I get it. Finebaum has a job to do, and part of that job is stirring the pot. But calling Lincoln Riley average? Come on. This is the same coach who took Oklahoma to the college football playoffs 3 years in a row. The same coach who's developed Heisman Trophy winners and consistently fielded one of the most explosive offenses in college football. Yes, Riley had a tough season last year, and yes, sticking with Alex Grinch for as long as he did was a mistake. But to label him as an average after one down year, that's just ridiculous. It's pretty clear that Finebaum has a bias. He's an SEC homer through and through, and now that Jim Harbaugh isn't as easy a target, it seems he's setting his sights on Lincoln Riley. But here's the reality. Riley has learned from his mistakes. He didn't just sit back and accept mediocrity. He went out and assembled one of the best defensive coaching staff in the country. He brought in guys like D'Anton Lynn, Matt Entz, Doug Belk, Eric Henderson, and Sean Nua, coaches who are known for getting results and developing talent. So, Paul Finebaum can say whatever he wants, but action speaks louder than words. Riley has put in the work to turn this program into a national contender, and I, for one, am all in on what he's building. But enough about Finebaum. Let's move on to some more positive news, shall we? Alright, let's dive into the latest news from Fall Camp. There's a lot to be excited about, and let's break it down. One of the biggest takeaways from camp so far is the level of detail the defensive coaching staff is bringing to the table. Whether it's the defensive backs, the linebackers, or the defensive line, every drill, every rep is being meticulously coached. Coaches like Doug Belk and Bryson Allen Williams aren't just running players through the motions. They're teaching, correcting, and making sure every player understands the why behind what they're doing. This kind of attention to detail is what separates good defenses from great ones. Last year, we saw a lot of breakdowns in coverage, missed tackles, and a general lack of cohesion on defense. But this year, it feels different. There's a focus on fundamentals that's been missing in previous seasons, and that can make all the difference when we're up against top-tier opponents. Speaking of defense, it's clear that this unit is more organized and prepared than they've been in recent years. Players like Anthony Beavers and Jalen Smith are stepping up and showing versatility by taking reps in multiple positions. This kind of flexibility is invaluable. When you've got players who can be moved around and excel in different roles, it gives the coaching staff so many more options when game planning. Doug Belk and Bryson Allen Williams deserve a ton of credit here. Their hands-on approach is paying off, and we're seeing real development from guys who could be key contributors this season. Now, here's some news that should get every Trojan fan excited. Our defense dominated in the recent scrimmage. That's right, dominated. Lincoln Riley himself said that the defense controlled the scrimmage for 3.5 quarters, showing strong red zone defense and limiting explosive plays. That's a huge improvement from last season, where our defense struggled to get off the field. Of course, we've got to see it translate to game day, but this is a very promising sign. It's not just about talent, it's about execution, and it seems like this defensive unit is starting to put it all together. Let's talk about the secondary for a minute. One of the most exciting things we're seeing in camp is the versatility among our defensive backs. Players like Jalen Smith, Greedy Vance, and Isaiah Rubin are being moved around to different positions. This isn't just about finding the right fit, it's about creating a unit that can adapt to whatever an offense throws at them. With a coach like Danton Lynn, who has a strong background working with safeties in the NFL, you know these guys are in good hands. But it's not all sunshine and rainbows. There are some concerns, particularly with injuries. Key players like Braylon Shelby and Cameron Fountain are dealing with injuries right now, and their return is going to be crucial, especially as we gear up for the massive opener against LSU. As we all know, depth on the defensive line is a concern, and we need these guys back healthy to ensure we can maintain a strong rotation throughout the season. We all know that football is a game of attrition, and having depth on the defensive line is essential for sustaining success over the course of a long season. As we've already talked about, Bear Alexander is the guy we're all watching. If he can find that consistency, he could be a game changer we need up front. But it's not just about Bear. It's about guys like Gavin Meyer, Devin Tompkins, Kobe Pepe, and freshmen like Carlon Jones and Jade Adasari are going to be critical to our success as well. With the right rotation and development, this defensive line could surprise a lot of people. On a lighter note, there was a pretty funny moment during practice this week. During special teams drill, Coach Anthony Jones accidentally hit Woody Marks in the face with a pad. It was one of those moments that reminds you that while football is serious business, it's also supposed to be fun. The energy at practice has been great, with a good balance of hard work and camaraderie.
Y'all get that on film. Post that shit.
Shifting gears to the offense, let's talk about the battle on the offensive line, specifically at right guard. Alani Noah is emerging as the likely starter, especially with Amos Tailelele sidelined. This is a crucial position, and the offensive line needs to come together quickly, especially with the LSU game on the horizon. The Tigers are going to bring the heat, and our O-line needs to be ready. Back to the defense for a moment. Eric Gentry is getting a lot of extra attention from the coaching staff. Gentry is a unique player. With his size and athleticism, and refining his technique can make him a major weapon for us. The coaches are doing everything they can to get the most out of him, and it's going to be exciting to see how he develops this season. Finally, let's talk about the tight ends. Lake McCree is leading the way, but we're also seeing strong development from guys like Cade Eldridge. The tight end group is going to be key, not just in the blocking game, but also in the passing game. With a move to the Big Ten on the horizon, having tight ends who can contribute in multiple ways is going to be crucial. So there you have it, Trojan fans, a full recap of the week as we gear up for what promises to be an exciting season. Let us know your thoughts in the comments down below, especially about Lincoln Riley's challenge to Bear Alexander. Do you think Bear can step up and be the consistent force we need on defense? And don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers, and every bit of support helps us get there. Keep the torch burning bright, and as always, fight on.